Alright. Hello everyone. Hoping you can hear me. Yes, you can hear me.
Can confirm.
Excellent! How's it going? We are going to showcase today a new glitch that has been found in BN5 that uses Arbitrary Code Execution, or ACE. There's the ACE command if you are curious as to how it works. But this new route has already gotten a sub 2 time in BN5, which was previously the longest Battle Network game at about 3 hours and 45 minutes. So, the way this works is I first have to go in and type in a payload using the cross battle menu. Let me enter that. So when I first enter it, I actually cleaned my save file for this particular showcase because I want to be doing a GMD manip as well, and that requires no save file. So when you first enter the menu, it asks you to put in a name and description. And so we're going to type in the characters specifically to write a payload that will be arbitrarily executed later. So I have all these inputs listed down because I can't read Japanese, unfortunately, so I'm going to quickly go through that.
The crossover is starting with Battle Network 4. 4, 5, and 6 have references to the Boktai series. And if you've got a wireless adapter plugged in, on the EXE version, I forget if it's also on the US version, it gives you access to this menu, which we're using for unintended purposes. But otherwise, you'd be able to connect with and battle against Boktai games in a unique game mode. And the text that Risch is entering corresponds to a specific set of bits and bytes that we're going to use to access things that we shouldn't later.
Yes. So what I'm going to do quickly is I'm going to open up an image of this payload, essentially, just to make sure that I typed it in correctly. Because technically speaking, if you're on emulator, you can actually go into the RAM and see the values, but we shouldn't be doing that because that's not available to us on console. So I'm just going to compare to an image and make sure that everything looks correct.
We should add a HUD feature. It's like yes, no if you've got the payload right.
Credits payload, yes, perfect. Okay, so that's all set up. Now, in order to load it into the correct addresses, I have to back out of the title, or back to the title screen. I have to go back in. This clears some buffers that were set up because I was typing in the name and description.
Do you hard reset?
You don't have to hard reset. We found out that you only have to back out to the title screen and then re-enter. So that will clear the buffers.
Keep cutting steps out. I love it.
So that clears the buffers. Now we have to enter this first menu, which loads the name and description into the correct memory addresses. We can back out, and now we're all set up. We don't have to do anything else. And so I'm going to actually start the timer now, just because I have to set up a GMD manip as well. So I'm going to soft reset and try and hit an audio cue. Oh, I went late. Don't worry about it. Much better.
Is that audio cue? It was set up for US, right? I wonder if there's a better one, because crossover lets you start sooner. It'd be interesting.
Yes, you could definitely start sooner because you have the wireless adapter in, which lets you access the new game option way sooner. So theoretically it could be. This frame that I'm trying to hit would give you, I believe, 1300 zenny. The maximum you can get is 1500 on the first trip. And normally you'd also want bug frags in a true any percent run. But we'll be not getting to the point where we can even utilize bug frags, so.
Things will look mostly normal up until, I guess, the start of the Shadow Man scenario.
Yes, correct. It'll actually look completely normal until I just randomly fight Nightman, B2.
Fair. We switched streamers, so we don't have that. Right now it's just I am Taraj42 and the guy with the controller is Risch.
Yeah, sorry about that. This was quickly set up in a matter of 10 minutes, so.
So Ace kind of has a long history. It starts with Liberation Wrong Warping, which was a glitch that was known and exclusive to the Japanese version for a long time, but being able to make effective use of it was elusive for several years. And in Macro, Prof9, and GM, as well as Lucky Typhlosion, have kind of picked away at it, doing little bits of research here and there over the past few years, and eventually found a particular setup that is even RTA viable, and that's the route that Risch is running. Uses a combination of glitches and setups that we'll explain as we get to them, because it'll be a lot easier to understand when you can see it in action. Even then, it's a little bit of black magic, but
yeah,
there's a more technical explanation in the pastebin if you want to dive into the details. Otherwise, you can just mostly follow the steps and it should work.
Yes. The Number Man, Prof mentions the Number Man route. The way that this glitch was originally utilized was we could access the debug menu by using particular chips IDs in order to execute some like debug scripts, which was nice, but it required you to get Numberman SP, and Numberman DS, I believe, which was really difficult to do. There's a really interesting route that like you used the Nightman to set up a bunch of flags so that you could go to end area early using an invisible warp. And then you could fight Numberman SP immediately, and it was actually a really cool route. Unfortunately, it was very slow though,
And kind of hard.
It was very, very difficult.
Seeing you skip copy damage is a little weird.
I will be grabbing it, but just not on this trip. I grab it on the trip where I have a sneak run, because that way I don't get an encounter.
Oh, is this just better in general?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because this was actually a super good early game. I managed to talk to that Navi in whatever comp that was. I honestly forget the name.
Kitchen part comp or something.
Something like that.
Kitchen comp, we get kitchen part.
I managed to talk to that Navi at like the 4-minute mark because I got a total of 4 encounters. You can get up to 6. The only bad thing is that I failed a runaway. But overall, like, early game was super solid. Another minor difference for those that may be not familiar.
Looks so weird.
Yeah, all of the HP comps have different layouts in the Japanese version versus the US version. On top of that, they cut a couple comps in the US version, such as Ship Comp 2 and Gargoyle, or it's like, no, it's Ship Comp 1 and Gargoyle Comp 2 or something like that.
Yes.
So, because of that, they had to move some HP memories and reg ups to other areas. So that 800 Zenny I picked up in Yai's HP was supposed to be a reg up too if I were playing the US version. Which means that my early Zenny route is a lot nicer in JP, but I actually can't get enough. Did I not talk to Dex? Nice.
Bland has priorities. He's like, no, Dex, I just need your computer.
But yeah, so we won't be able to reg copy damage for Lib 1, which is something you would normally see in a US run. So our Lib 1 will be a tiny bit slower, but you can always just get lucky.
Plus, I mean, guard reg was the old strat. That's not that bad anyway.
Yeah, guard reg is really good, and it gives you a consistent way to counter hit Blizzard Man, which is still nice. Otherwise, you have to rely on your draw, pray that you can counter hit with like a wide sword or something. So, a lot of this run is going to be playing through the game, checking every GMD, trying to get as much Zenny as I can. Because I need a lot of Zenny. Not only does the route itself, like the regular any percent route, require a ton of Zenny. It requires like a fair amount of RNG Zenny. But this route in particular also requires buying Guardian before Lib 3, which is absurd. So we're gonna need to be getting a lot of Zenny. Right now I'm actually getting a little unlucky, but it's okay. Ideal draw here should be 3 cannons. Unfortunate. Also, I'm pressing the wrong button quite a bit. I've been playing a lot of Star Force lately, and my button layouts are all out of whack. I've been trying to skip cutscenes with start, for example, rather than select. It's very complicated. So I think normally in the US, this would be the last reg up we really need to grab. This would give us, I think, 12 reg up or reg mem, and we would have enough to reg copy damage. But sadly, right now I'm actually at 10. Now we begin main comps. I'm actually ideally going to get some good Zenny from this, but also a Cannon Star GMD would be very much appreciated. And fun fact, Cannon Star is the only star-coded chip in GMDs in Area 1, so I just got it. I need to use a sneak run. Ooh, 900 Zenny is very good. $900 Zenny is exactly what we like to see. On top of getting a Cannon Star, this is looking pretty solid, but we will still need a lot of Zenny. Ideally from like some BGMDs in Orin area. Okay, next one, R2, R1, F3, R4. Sneak run should expire any second now. R3, L1, L2, R1. See guys, I'm clearly the best at reading Japanese. Totally don't have notes telling me exactly which ones to grab, regardless of what character set they're using. So one more GMD here. Hopefully it has any. Unlucky. Fun fact, that text box that showed up right when I swapped back to Mega Man was actually my sneak run expiring because the sneak run kept going up while I was land. Alright, so we're going to remove some recovs. We're going to add in that, except I don't want the K-coded one, I want the A-coded one. And then I'm actually going to swap this for my Cannon Star. We're going to sort by verse MB. Oh, we want area grab regs. I messed this up. Good. What a draw. So, Colonel cannot move to the front row unless he's using his C cannon attack. He will move 4 times and attack on that 4th move. Ideally, if he does it in the front row, I can get a counter hit with a sword. I messed that one up just a little bit early. But that was a super good Colonel fight. If I had not missed the second counter hit, oh, that fight would have been so clean. Now we go to sleep, and we're then going to go start Lib 1. I always like the fact that in this route we pick up so many HP memories that Mega Man actually has as much HP as Colonel during Lib 1. I always found that kind of funny. Alright, so looking at it, I still need to ideally buy 2 more sneak runs. Yeah, my Zenny is looking really bad right now. I'm probably gonna have to skip out on some sneak runs later, so that's 650. I need 1,000 Zenny for mine key. Oh, I need to do... Oh, this is so unlucky. Okay, so this fight is really obnoxious. These Metars, for no reason, have an incredibly high HP threshold to be able to run away from them. Which means that Sneak Run does not filter those out. Alright, so we want this cannon star in there. Oh, wait, did I rig? There we go. Guard 1A on rig. And we're all set up with... But yeah, so we're looking kind of bad on Zenny. I have 650, I need 1,000 for mine key, and I still ideally would buy 2 more sneak runs. I will get 500 Zenny during this liberation mission, but that 500 Zenny always goes towards Dark Sword. Alright. What does with ace mean? Ace means arbitrary code execution, so this particular run will be doing the 80%, or basically trying to reach the credits using arbitrary code execution. I highly recommend reading into that paste bin if you are curious as to what that might mean. There's a lot of technical details that we'll try to explain, but it can still be a little complicated. Wide sword draw would be super good here. Oops, that was a mistake. It's okay. One turns don't really matter. It's just a little bit of time loss. So yep, that's the 500 Zenny that will go towards Dark Sword later. So we have Guard on Reg. Guard on Reg is actually capable of always counter-hitting this big brute. So ideally, I would draw Cannon A or the Star Code that is also in my folder already, because it just works out perfectly. Yes, this is currently exclusive to kernel version because you need the Nightman chips for the particular setup. There is no known way to get away with not using Nightman. Oh my god. My charge shot released on me. Yes, ace. I think that confusion has happened multiple times. Both in my streams and here now. Wide sword? This draw looks awfully familiar. Let's execute it right this time. So that's what it should have looked like the last time. You don't actually need to wide sword here, or I forget what it's actually called for kernel. Let's see what we can do with this.
Screen divide.
Thank you. Oh, I was hoping it would line him up. Still a 1-turn. You don't actually need to, but if you don't get a 1-turn here, it prevents the big brute from approaching you and attacking, which saves an animation. Also, welcome back there. Again here, hoping to draw a cannon A or star. Unfortunate. So fun fact, we can actually area grab. Because the big brute will never try to attack you from the back row if he can avoid it. I thought about using one of those mini bombs. I really thought about it. Unfortunately, not getting a 1-turn there means Colonel will be surrounded in this. But it should be fine. This is actually a really good draw. Let's see if I can get this to work. Yep, that's exactly the way I want that fight to go. When I'm surrounded. Alright, so now we're going to try and get a 1-turn with Mega Man that will make this fight a tiny bit easier for Colonel. We won't be disadvantaged against Blizzard Man. Beautiful. Alright, so the goal here is to get a counter hit and then C cannon. We actually don't need any other chips except Guard 1A and C cannon. Guard 1A is a guaranteed counter hit there. And then you just keep preventing him from attacking with your charge shots. I'm actually going to pause buffer this. He will be losing iframes, and he's dead. Pretty clean lib one, I would say. Definitely better than my previous streams where I'm focusing more on entertaining than actually trying to play the game fast. Alright, so now is very important we go by Dark Sword now. We will need to be managing our karma in a very specific way for this glitch to work. So having a Dark Chip is actually a physical requirement. It's not even just to go fast, though Dark Sword is pretty fast. So with that 500 Zenny, I think, as I said, I should have 650 Zenny, which means I shouldn't buy another sneak run, which kinda's not good. It means I'm gonna have to skip out on 2 sneak runs, which is really unfortunate. Okay, you know what? I can justify it. We're gonna pray. We're gonna pray. I need 550 Zenny now for what's it called? Mine Key.
The mine boss.
Yes. I'm willing to take this bet.
Some old navvy holding your friends hostage for 1,000 Zenny.
You know what? I'm gonna go check this GMB. It's really far out of the way, but I'm gonna go check it.
Still faster with sneak run.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
Part of the way there.
So we need 350 more. Literally any GMD at this point. There's gonna be 3 more GMD checks before we have to start really praying.
These 2 plus Orin 1?
Yep. That's unfortunate. Okay. Sorry.
Oh.
With Windbox, getting the mini bomb is just gonna be too much of a pain.
Because it'd have to be mini plus 10.
Yeah.
Damage boost would be too slow as well.
Yep. Okay. 50 Zenny. 50 Zenny.
Start fighting randoms. It's like 50-50.
I will will take fights in Orin. Not even kidding. I could actually just tank my rank too. Just to get 50 Zenny. Like 50 Zenny is guaranteed. Oh no, never mind. I have gotten 30 Zenny before. Usually from Metars. At really low ranks.
I believe it.
Alright. And now we go to everyone's favorite place. Alright, so this will be the last trip that I should ideally be getting Zenny. Orin Area 1 is weird. Apparently something about there being too many NPCs in the overworld causes it to be unable to spawn a second GMD. So only one GMD exists in Orin Area 1.
I wonder where the other one was supposed to spawn.
That's an excellent question. I'm gonna try running away from this fight. Just because there is one GMD that I'm going to hope has it. See? Easy.
Never punished.
Yeah. Orin 1.
There's Orin 1.
Orin 1 has a single GMD in it. And that, I believe, was the reason that Lucky gave to me.
And we just trust him implicitly. Lucky would never lie.
Alright. Third one. This area can have some good BGMDs. I think in my current PB of this route, I got a BGMD here just in time to buy the HP memory from this shop before the mine comps or drill comps. It was really
Nice.
good.
Calculate.
Exactly as planned. Now we're gonna go fishing real quick.
Love fishing.
Fishing is one of my favorite things in a lot of games, not gonna lie. Where am I going? The idea is that Lan and Dex have a fishing competition. Dex catches a ton of fish. Lan would have caught a gigantic one, but it got away. And because he lost the fishing competition, Dex makes him go and get the tools for a camping fire.
I'm pretty sure Lan caught a boot. Which he thought was going to be a big fish.
I thought I remember seeing like a gigantic fish pop out of the water for a second. Maybe I'm misremembering that cutscene.
Maybe. I also vaguely remember a shoot. So, some combination of these things.
Alright, so we did have to go grab an extra reg mem in that furnace comp earlier. And we just grabbed one more reg up one from that minecart. So we now have enough 4 copy damage reg. We're also going to enable this crane comp. because it's an area in Orin 2 that we can go grab 1,000 Zenny, which is really nice when we need it. 10,500 for Guardian. We're gonna need to do a quick folder edit here. Ideally, I don't remember what I get rid of. I'm gonna get rid of these 3 things, why not? And we're going to sort by reverse ID, so that those things are at the top. This puts Blizzard Man in the top, which is a really good draw for trying to get drill arms from Drixels. We have copy damage regs, which will work really well if we draw any swords. And we have attack plus 10s in there because Drixels have 90 HP, so we're more likely to draw the attack plus 10 with a sword in order to copy damage, kill the Drixel. There we go. We had enough for Mind Key. Talking to that door is a cutscene. You can skip it. It's really nice. Also really strange. The Metzar moves right when I didn't want him to. It's okay, this is planned. I'm gonna get Zenny from this. Probably 50, but it's okay. Maybe even 30. There it is. There it is, guys. You can get 30 Zenny. Oh my god. Corners. How do they work? Alright, last fight, and then we start up the drill comps. Alright, so I actually want to get hit here. That guy didn't move. Fine. Nice counter hit. Alright. So, drill comps. 2 GMDs per area. They have some really good potential drops, up to like 1,000 Zenny. My Zenny's looking kind of pitiful right now. The other thing we're going to be doing here is running away from most fights at 75% run chance. But if a fight has a Drixel in it, I will likely try and take it, because Drixels at 8 or higher rank have a guaranteed chance to drop a drill arm. And drill arms are really good chips for both Lib 2 and for other reasons that you will see later. And yes, punch rocks. I'll also be grabbing a few things along the way, such as HP and memories. I think I grabbed Invis Star there. Rock Cube Stars somewhere in these comps. Longsword S's in Drill Comp 4. This is a really good example of why we go for Blizzard Man. I should have taken the copy damage, but I got lucky, so.
Never punished.
So that's one drill arm. We can have up to 4 in our folder. And I will be trying to get 4. If we do end up with 4 by drill comp 4, I will have enough HP in order to sneak run through drill comp 4. That would be the fastest strat. Wait for that rock. I think this one's a charge +1. The only reason I grab it is to be able to bug an Abacus program later. In all honesty. Alright. Come on, GMDs. That was a counter hit. That's unfortunate. So this will probably be a 7 rank now, which means I have a 1 in 4 chance of getting said drill arm. Thought I went late enough on that air shot. Getting an awful lot of bug frags though. Yeah, so you could sneak run through the remainder of it. It's typically not worth it if you're skipping like 1 encounter check, but you have to realize that a sneak run costs 300 zenny. That 300 zenny can matter. So how we're going to handle this is we're actually going to first charge shot him. And that works. 1 and 2. Unlucky. Oh, I see how this works. There we go, 2 drill arms. That's not a way I normally get drill arms, but you know, we take those. Copy damage into the sword means I would have gotten hit in that one fight, because Drixel has 90 HP, sword only does 80. So I needed to do at least 10 damage first. I could have done it with a charge shot like I did with the Powie. I prefer using air shot. I just have to wait enough to not get a counter hit. Yeah, but you need the double delete to get your rank up. So the wide sword has to be the killing blow as well. The deleting blow, excuse me. Otherwise, too much movement and taking too long can lower your rank below 8. Getting a double delete practically guarantees that you will get at least an 8 rank.
Yeah, there's not actually much wiggle room you can do to get an S rank with just 2 viruses, especially with this folder.
Yeah. This folder is not 100% optimal because we're very early in the game. I've gotten pretty unlucky, I would say, with Zenny so far. it's not been the greatest time. Worst case, we do have a Zenny grinding strat later. It'll be a fun time. So we're almost done with comp 3, and we don't have a third drill arm, I believe. I think I only have 2. I'm surprised. Managed to get there without an encounter. So I will likely be skipping out on the sneak run. Drill comp 4 does have a chance to drop a drill arm J, which is an unfortunate code because not having 4 drill arms in the same code is actually kind of not the best. Unfortunate. Luckily, now that I have 280 HP, I actually do have 100% run chance, so we only failed 1 runaway. This is... Ooh. It's okay. Luckily, messing up right there isn't a huge deal. It puts you back 2 feet. This isn't going to work very well. I messed it up too. Yeah. Drill comp 4 is actually really bad for trying to grind Zenny. Zenny. That was really good, Zenny. Drill comp 4 is really bad for trying to grind drill arms. The fights actually aren't that good. I don't know if there's any double Drixel fights. Oops. Yeah, I messed this up. Actually went too early on the arrow shot there. I wanted a counter hit. 2 drill arms can be managed, it's just not good. We want to get rid of some A codes. We want to get rid of that. And then we also want Invis Star in, which will replace Roll R. We then want this swapped Reg Airshot. Alright. So, you guys ready to see some dark chip usages?
Not the darkness.
3. There are 2 hits. Now we've been hit 3 times. We need to get hit by a 4th rock. Alright. Then...
So Risch is utilizing mood. As you get hit, your mood decreases, and once it falls to a certain amount, you go anxious, which he can then use to guarantee draw a dark chip. And then he uses air shot or anything to get a counter hit for double damage dark sword, and it works out that Nightman's going to jump at about the same time that this plays out, so you can get a very consistent quick kill on Nightman. But also this sets his karma to a very specific value. Your first dark chip usage, if you're above 500, will drop it down to 480, and from this point forward he's going to be keeping track of what it should be to set up for ace later.
Yes. That is luckily a very good time to first use a dark chip. Even in my old any% runs, I actually did that exact Nightman strat because I loved the consistency of that draw. The other strats you could use would be like area grab, go for drill arms. Good Zenny there. I don't have enough, do I? Oh, I can buy the HP memory early. Might as well. While I'm thinking about it. Using that sneak run there is really important in Orin Area 1 because every time I get a fight now, I would have to keep track of my karma. So random fights are bad. Forced fights are fine because I've already routed them in. And I already know how my karma will react to that. So I just basically need to keep track of random encounters that I'm getting. Reverse sort by MB. That's good. And then we break copy damage. And now lib 2 time. Lib 2 is actually really good in my opinion. I think it's one of my favorite liberations just because of how clean it is for how early in the run it can be. I think like the folder is just super good. Nightman just is a legend. All right. Getting a 1-turn with either Nightman or Colonel is important. It clears away one extra dark panel that would allow Shademan to attack. And then the other important 1-turn is here, because the way Shademan chooses to attack is if there's a dark panel next to a friendly character, then he would have the potential to attack. Unfortunately, I got a very bad draw for one turn, so. So Nightman will be bullying me. Also, important to note, Mega Man has to do a consistent number of fights in this liberation. He will typically do 5, and because of that, and because I know that, his karma will go up by a very consistent amount. So I'll always be at 485 karma by the end of this liberation.
It's interesting that these affect your karma, considering there's no reward screen.
Yeah, it is pretty strange, but who knows.
Because for a lot of the things in Battle Network that we track, style points in 2 and 3, those only happen on the reward screen. Like the reward screen has specific functions. But I guess the fact that running away affects your karma, they had to do it like at the end of the battle, regardless of outcome. So,
yeah, that's pretty fair. Nightman, I think, takes care of every dark hole because Nightman is a legend.
Nightman pretty good.
Yeah. Truly the MVP. Also, drill arms are pretty good.
Yeah. I think Nightman's got bittersweet feelings towards drill arms.
I would believe that. Almost. Almost got it. Needed the Mets out of the way so I could hit Sea Cannon at the back, but sadly it was too slow. Nightman getting a 1-turn here is pretty important. A Drill Arm makes it trivial, but Nightman in general makes it trivial. I'll show you why. Nightman's charge shot hits behind him twice, which is really nice against those Tin Hawks. Getting a 1-turn here with Mega Man would save the Big Brute from attacking. Should be really nice. Oh. I see how it is.
Yeah. Airthar brings up an important distinction that technically, because you can be surrounded and Nightman can face either direction, the Wrecking Ball is just specifically programmed to start and end on the left panel. So we'll hit the left panel twice, which is usually about me.
Yes, thank you. That is correct. So, unfortunately not getting the 1-turn means Mega Man gets attacked there. It's fine. Mega Man's positioning still forces the Tin Hawk to spawn on a place that allows us to 1-turn here with Colonel, which opens up both Dark Holes. Very nice. Lots of swords. You technically don't need swords to do it, but it just makes it nice and easy. Nightman just takes hits because he doesn't care. It also means that this Big Brute will attack a second time. Let's see. This'll work. You do that to get 2000 Zenny, which is really nice. And then Mega Man's last fight will be to clear this panel. Colonel goes over here, liberates, starts getting ready to open up Shade Man. That 1-turn makes it so Colonel is not surrounded on the next fight. Doesn't make a huge difference, but it's also just faster to get fights done quickly. This fight can be a pain. Luckily, I drew a nice backup of... Oh. Luckily, I drew a nice backup of Blizzard Man. So now I just need to get them to line up. Ideally, you copy damage the Big Brute and get the Drixel and the B-Tank, question mark? I forget its name, to line up for double hit K-Crusher, which will kill everything. As long as you've charge-shotted the Drixel ones. We're also going to start passing every turn, because we don't care about getting Shademan SP as a reward. I didn't think they were both going to do that. So we don't care about getting Shademan or Shademan SP as reward. What we care about is getting 2,000 Zenny, which will happen if we get to turn 10 and finish the Liberation. So we'll intentionally pass until turn 10.
About 5 years ago, this was world record strats right here. We've come full circle.
Turn 9. Turn 10. Now, worst case, I managed to fail this with both Nightman and Colonel. I would pass with Mega Man still, to keep my karma consistent. But Nightman is almost always good enough to just handle this on his own. That was early. Just in case I draw the wide sword. I'm gonna miss this, aren't I? Oh, early. I'll do it. I'll do it for the content.
You literally can't miss Life Sword. Oh,
Literally can't miss Life Sword.
a little upset. It would have been great if he jumped behind you, life drained you, and deleted Night.
That would have been
then
good.
I'd have a clip.
That would be a good clip. You are not wrong. That would have been fantastic. Theoretically, Prof, depending on how you ended up wanting your karma route to go, that could make a difference. But the lower your karma is, the what's it called? The lower your karma is, the more fights you'll have to do later, because you have to run away from more fights. There's like a nice balance you have to find. Alright, so here, as I mentioned earlier, my karma is 485. I can get random fights during these comps, especially in these JP exclusive versions of the generic comps. Those ones I'm practically guaranteed an encounter. It's incredibly unlikely to skip. I have a 75% run chance. Running away means my karma will go up by 2 in the JP version, so my karma is currently 487. So I have to be keeping track of all of these random fights. Normally, I would get about 2, because there's 2 of these particular areas.
Oh, the giant con. Yeah, I think our first... There's like 2 clips of missing a life sword. 3, actually. The original 3. From Sunset himself. One of them involves Numberman, one involves Roll, and one involves Dark Proto. They're all great.
Alright, time for Lotto Codes. First up, Fast Gauge. Just overall really good chip. Anti-Fire is a star-coded chip that works really well on one of the gauntlets coming up. Or force fights, I should say. Same thing with Anti-Wood here. Star Code means it's good flow. It's probably something you could cut, but I'm getting it for now. Soul T +1 is a very nice Navicuss program. We're going to use it to get Emotion Bug. Custom 2, very good for digging through your folder. HP plus 200 is going to be necessary for performing a lib warp. HP plus 300 is going to be necessary for setting up one of the Shadow Man glitches. And HP plus 50 is going to be necessary for the other one. And that's the lava codes. Oh. Kid's just in the way, and I always forget.
Speaking of regular content, Prof, you want to do a preview of Star Force DX? I guess another one, actually.
Oh, I didn't get rid of my decodes. So I'm gonna get rid of that. So we want these three in. Throwing in an extra air shot. We want reverse MB, and we want copied image right. Yep, that looks good. And quick Navicoast edit to put custom 2 in. That's like being 4 levels of Navicoast. We're gonna take this time to check all the GMDs in the area. Just pray to get a little bit more Zenny. However, we will be skipping GMDs in ACDC 3 because ACDC 3 GMDs have the chance to be trapped, and if they end up giving me an encounter that changes my karma, and I would like to avoid any shenanigans with that. I'm trying to avoid as many random encounters as possible once I have to start counting karma.
Style change is just kind of a fun little bonus for Progbot, to where if you got extra battle chips, you can kind of just get a random style until you get your favorite. It's just cosmetic for now. For now.
Funnily enough, because I got that, because doing the forced fight resets my step counter, I can actually go into the next area. Then use my sneak run if I really wanted to stretch it. It doesn't make a huge difference. You still have to use 3 on this trip. So that was a good 600 Zenny drop. Oh, even a full synchro from the last one? Could have fast gauged first, but
Wow, Doyson gave up Dust Cross for Light Cross. I appreciate Light Cross. Oh, Heat Custom. Prof is Magnet Chaos.
Alright.
Nice cripple.
Yes. Drill arm works really well in that fight. I'm a big fan of it. So this is Crane Comp.
Fan.
Quick 1000 Zenny. I just understood your joke. Dang it. So
It's your joke, actually.
yes, fair. My karma is currently 492. It was 485 after Liberation 2. I got 2 random fights, which put me up to 489 in squirrel comps. And then we've gotten 3 forced fights so far. Now, this is where the route begins to diverge a little bit. On this trip, we kind of want to get the Nightman chips for our little glitch, so since he's here, we're just gonna fight Nightman V2 real quick. Which will
A little friendly sparring.
Yeah.
So with Battle Network 5, your team navies are in a fixed location, and that's where you can fight the alpha version. The alpha version drop table is just 1 chip. Like, if you win the fight, you get Nightman. Beating the alpha version also sets the flag such that you can fight the beta version. Funny thing is, in the team rush, the same thing happens. So you can actually skip this, except you need the chip and all icons. So Risch is doing this partly for the chip. Well, yeah, 2 reasons. For the chip, which we need for the glitch, and to unlock the beta encounter.
Yes, I can finish the fight right now. Don't worry, I'm well aware. It's very important that I use this dark chip, though.
This new route was recently cut. We're actually still in the process of tweaking it. But basically, like, within the last month, this one, it all came together. But research has been ongoing for several years.
You know what?
Nice draw.
Watch this road.
Airshot works on rock cubes since 3, but it works on...
It only did 100 damage?
Oh, I forgot. Like, the fixed rocks have less HP or something, so it only does,
I'm
does
so
100.
upset.
Rock cubes do 200 damage. But starting with 5, you could push the naturally spawning rocks. They behave slightly differently. Well, they behave the same, they just do less damage.
I could have area grabbed, I just realized. It didn't occur to me because I'm not supposed to have area grab rigged.
I thought you just went with airshot because it would have been cooler if it worked.
Yeah, no, I actually forgot. Alright. I'm just actually so used to having copy damage on rig, it didn't even occur to me. Also now my karma goes up by 2, 3, and then it'll go up by a 4th. I didn't think so. Bats don't even give iframes, which makes that so much harder. Come down. Alright, so now my karma is 492. And we enter Scilab. Scilab, we don't have enough HP to fully run away, or to fully sneak run through. So we will be getting 1 random encounter, almost certainly. And you have the chance to get more, but typically I get 3 random encounters total. 2 in Scilab, or 1 in Scilab, 2 in Squirrel Comps. And now, this trip is pretty unlikely. You have a small chance to get an encounter in this area. Grab the last HP memory that we need to physically pick up. And now, the route diverges quite significantly. Normally we would have to go to sleep right now, and then we would go do the drill comp revisits. We'll be doing that in a little bit, though. So this swapped with that. I think that should be a good top 5. I want area grab wrecked. My saving. I'm saving because this fight is hard and I need a very particular chip from it. I'm actually not going to use this because I really just need the wide sword draw. Now I get a counter hit with life sword. Ooh, well, you know what? We'll just get it with the air shot instead. And this works. Karma goes down by 4. Barely enough for the S rank. DS acquired. And now, we get to go fight Nightman SP.
In the US version, this would be Nightman Omega. SP Omega, kind of the same thing.
Mm-hmm. We're also going to buy the 4 sneak runs we need at this point. Fine, I'll just run away from this one. We're going to get all of the GMDs.
Is that factored into Karma?
It is now. Good call out. So now we're going to be safe resetting a lot for Nightman SP. That's what we're trying to
So
find.
there's like, Prof can correct me if I'm wrong, but approximately 15 encounters in this area, so you've got a, what, 1 in 15 chance to get Nightman?
It's a 1 in 9. The Navis are usually have their own specific drop or encounter rate.
IV base was less. And so we're just safe resetting with a high step counter until we get that fight, so we don't have to run from randoms. Goes a little bit faster, and it's helped partly because with the wireless adapter connected, the toggle screen's faster.
Doyson, that's because of the wireless adapter, not because of EXE.
Yeah. So if you're on US and you have wireless adapter, it also goes faster. Guess the same speed. Alright, it looks like he's got the wireless adapter in. It sounds like he's got the wireless adapter in. I think he's got the wireless adapter.
Alright, I think my step counter's plenty high now.
Yeah. Once you get it to like 1,000, 16 checks, it doesn't, encounter rate does not go up any more. It caps out.
Yeah.
Per check.
The only reason I will change my save at this point would be to get different RNG. Because
Well,
RNG
but
saves.
does that matter?
If I'm basically on a frame that like it just happens that none of the seeds in the nearby range can get Nightman SP to show up.
Oh, like in a counter check? Because selection, I think, is based just off frame.
Is it? Is it frame counter?
I've heard both ways, but that one keeps coming up, so I think 5 and 6 do that, right?
I wouldn't know.
I need to freeze RNG sometime and see if I get different encounters or not.
Well, then I must be getting incredibly unlucky.
Yeah, I feel that. Exactly, Prof. Exactly.
Hey, there he is. All right.
Now, this is the hardest boss that we have to fight in this category. And Risch has to defeat him within 2 specific time ranges in order to get the SP chip damage value to be something that we need to properly set up the ace. And so he's looking for Life Sword. He's trying to maintain full synchro. And then he's also going to use a dark chip.
Yes.
Part of how quickly it goes is going to depend on how soon he draws Fast Gauge. This was about halfway, and then otherwise he usually Nightman's attack cycle to determine about how quickly the fight is gone.
This should barely make it. Easy every time.
That went well. 28.
Perfect.
So it needs to do 220 or 240. So we have all of the chips that, well, you have Cannon Star?
Yes, I got Cannon Star, first GMD in main comp.
So Risch has most of the things he needs to set it up. Karma is known. And so now we just gotta do some shenanigans.
Yeah, Karma is currently 488. The last annoying bit that we'll have to go through at this point is we're going to have to grind Zenny so that I can buy Guardian. Guardian is a physical requirement in order to do this glitch. So. So I bought 4 sneak runs earlier. This is to keep my karma at a very consistent point. So I won't be getting encounters throughout all of Drill Comp's revisit. Which is really nice. Because having my karma at a very known value without having too many random encounters just makes this so much easier to factor in everything. I can actually know what my karma will be. I've actually done the math already. One day I just calculated, okay, what are the random encounter numbers that you might get? Assuming you don't make some really silly mistakes. And based off of those values, I can just immediately know what my karma will be based on the number of random encounters I got. So like this run, for example, I've gotten 4 random encounters. I got the 3 that I expected, plus the 4th one that Tara mentioned that I shouldn't have taken. I should have soft reset there, but it's fine.
All according to plan.
So we got a couple solid GMD drops on this trip, but I still think I need a fair amount of Zenny. I haven't looked, actually. I'll check during the Drill Comp 3. So we have 6,640. 7,320. And we need a total of 10,800. 300 of that will be to buy a sneak run. And the other 10,500 is for Guardian. So now, we begin the fun part. Zenny grinding. This GMD, the first GMD in Drill Comp 3, is close enough that we can get there always without getting an encounter check at all. And on top of that, it's probably the best GMD other than maybe Drill Comp 4. But Drill Comp 4, unfortunately, is a little too long to get to that first GMD. I said 7320. I don't remember if I... I must have gotten a 400 drop. Okay, 7,720. Alright. So we need 3,080 Zenny. And then we will be safe. For the record, it is a 3 in 8 chance to get any Zenny drops. This particular GMD can drop 400, 680, or 980 Zenny.
Slash
1,120.
Slash Cross put in work during Greg SP.
Slash Cross is really good. It's a shame that it's just slow to acquire. In my PB for this category, I didn't have to grind any as any.
Wow.
So the main reason for that, I would have needed to grind the tiniest amount. I got really lucky, but I needed to get Cannon Star to make this safe. So I went to main comps first and got Cannon Star after a long time, which I actually got a lot of 900s any drops there.
I see.
Main comp 1 is also really solid, about the same distance to pick up the GMD, and then pretty solid amounts of Zenny drops, but it's just a tiny bit lower than Drill Comp 3, so. We're getting pretty unlucky, I will not deny that though. 8,520. We've gotten 3 400 drops, which is rather unfortunate when you consider that I could be getting 980 drops.
So Progbot works in both Twitch and Discord, and if you use an anonymous command, you don't need to be registered, but if you have anything like styles, then it needs to know what to save that to, and if you register your Twitch account with Progbot, you can then register your Discord account with Progbot, and then you can still share state.
8,920.
Don't make me put a cooldown on style change, Chaotic. I'll increase the cost. If you're banned from chat, can you still redeem channel points?
I don't know, actually. Never checked. Oh boy. Someone find me a better Zenny farming method. This is so dreadful. Hey, 980, let's go. So I think I'm at 9,900. I literally need 900 more Zenny. $500 more. Yep. 500 more.
Looks like there's also a linking process.
I'd rather not. You'd get so many encounters on the way through ACDC area that my karma would just be so bad. Unless you mean like pray to get a Zenny drop on the way, and I also would rather not do that.
I'm guessing you looked at other GMDs, Drill Comp, 234, or
Yeah, I think maybe Drill Comp 1 is a very early GMD that could maybe be good, but I don't think its drop table is good enough to compete. Drill Comp
about
2.
Orin area.
Orin areas is bad because of RNG carryover glitch. You have a 50-50 chance of A, it's spawning, and then B, I think it's actually a slightly lower chance at Zenny overall, or at least like some of the Zenny drop tables are like super low for that particular spawn.
I think RNG carryover doesn't work in dungeons. Yeah, that one's fine.
Yeah, placement doesn't change for these.
With Orin, you could potentially go from Orin 1 to Orin 2 and maybe not get an encounter.
Orin 2 would also be affected by RNG carryover. I don't know how that would work out. I don't know if that first spawn you can get there without an encounter. You probably can, thinking about it.
I think the first one, yes, but the second one, no.
Yeah, the first one you should be able to. The second one is way too far. We did it. So because of that, we actually don't need GMDs in this area. You can just skip over all of them. I do wonder if perhaps it's better to do Drill Comp 4 first because of that, but I don't know. At the end of the day, just get lucky and don't have to grind Zenny. Alright. Drill Comp Revisit's done. We have one more story related thing that we actually have to do, but before we do that, I need to go find a good spot.
I think there's a good one in Orin 1.
Alright. This spot right here. Good feng shui. Let's go.
I like it.
Alright, let's go trigger the clouds. I'm also going to save now, just in case.
It can be. But it's just a matter of looking into it. Yep. Location 1. And Orin area 2. What are the Zenny values?
I think they're generally low compared to drill comps.
Yeah.
500, 600, yeah.
So 50% and 50% spawn. On average, the GMD is 150 Zenny. Every time you get it. Not too much.
I don't need this GMD. What am I doing?
Old habits.
Alright, we're actually going to force an encounter. Intentionally. You know, I didn't do a thing. That's fine.
You didn't.
You know what? Hit me.
Emotion build?
Yeah.
So if you're following your notes for the most part, what are you going to do different to account for the extra 2 karma? Or does that not matter yet?
It doesn't matter at all. I just know that I had 4 encounters.
Okay.
Come on, bud.
So Risch is doing the thing again where he gets hit enough to lower his mood to get worried, so he can draw a dark chip.
There it is.
Your mood goes up as you successfully hit things. The counter hit will max it out, which is why you get full synchro. Possible to do that without counter hits in 4.
So we actually do this particularly so we can use the dark chip, run away, which will lower my max HP by 2. Because of the JP exclusive thing where it does karma gains twice. I guess it doesn't matter now. We just need this HP plus 200 in. My max HP is now 514. They probably do not, Roth, you're correct. So my karma should be 480 if I'm not mistaken.
We'll find out.
We're gonna use this to lib warp into Orin 1. But because of the cutscene trigger, it's gonna force us back to the beginning. So this just actually saves a ton of steps for the most part, which preserves our sneak run. And now we're going to go buy Guardian. Also, yeah, on that fight, I was supposed to have already set up my Navicust with both HP plus 200 and Emotion Bug, so that I would draw the Dark Chip turn 1. This is a fun, neat little thing about lib warping, is that when you enter the area again, it thinks, ah yes, you finally entered. Let's play this little cutscene to say that you've left the liberation. Alright, and now, we do it again. Alright, and with that, we are now in Orin 1. Behind the clouds, we're going to remove all of these things. That should be good. We want Guardian in. Copy damage is good chip. We'll even go in another. We want panel out drags. Panel out 2 is fine. And then, let's set up my Navicust again. What do I want? I want custom 2 with emotion mode. Now let's see what my notes say about 4 encounters. 480 karma. Shocking. First fight. Take damage, set up Guardian, Dark Mega AI combo, and run away. Sneak run finally expires. Now we can get an encounter. So this is now... I should have done it there, but whatever. Alright, that should be the Guardian combos set up. Karma's now 482. I don't trust that B tank. Don't worry, neither do I. But that should be the Guardian combo setup. Next 3 fights, we use a Dark Chip and run away. Stop giving me this fight.
Why is this one bad?
It's just so many things to dodge. I'm already at 244 HP, which I want to keep.
Gotcha.
244 current HP is very important for the setup.
At least you can.
I can get Recov 10s, yes. That's the nice thing, is if I had Recov 10s, I can just throw them in the folder. I do have 2 A-coded ones I can throw in and Recov back up. Ooh, even got fast gauge.
For now, Matt, style change is the new thing. The new old thing. We're working on a chip list, so we'll probably bring back chip collecting, and then it'll have style changes, chip collecting, and I don't know what will come after that. If it doesn't work the first time, Prof, can we go set it up afterwards, right?
I usually save at 484 Karma, so I normally have the ability to reset up Guardian combo if absolutely necessary.
I think that's a fine compromise. Good idea. Noise change in December. Yeah, adding noises in addition to styles would probably be pretty easy at this point.
Alright, so current HP 244, max HP 308. I'll make it 608 later, but that's important for the setup. Now we need to get our Karma up to 486. Which means we just have to run away from a ton of fights. In fact, chat, if you want to help me count, we have to run away from 10 fights to get my Karma to 484. That was 1. Two.
There's like a indication when you hit 480, right? Or 470?
470, yes. So this next fight should put me to 470, and then after that, that should be a good indicator that we're actually at 470.
So Risch believes he will be dark in the next fight.
Yes. 3.
And then not dark. And if that's true, we're probably good.
Beautiful. It's almost like I wrote down my notes correctly.
470.
So now we're at 472 Karma. 4 fights.
Do you increase it at the start of the fight or the end of the fight?
I do it at the start.
It's probably easier to remember. It's like I got into a fight.
I got into a
Going
fight,
up.
yeah. I got into a fight. I have the time to press the counter button.
So do you save it? What value do you save Karma at?
484. And I need to go into the fight for the Nightman hand buffer at 486, so it gives me 1 fight to fix any Guardian setup.
Gotcha.
2, 7.
Thanks, Nameless. We're at the hardest part of the run, counting. So.
Correct. 8. It's also so much easier when you have chat helping you count. 9.
So after the next fight,
I will save right in front of Nightman, or Shadowman. I will also set up my folder in Navi Custom a bit better. And, okay, 484 karma. Now, we do still need to run away from one more fight, but we're saving for safety. I'm also going to set up my hand. I shouldn't need Guardian anymore, and let's just throw you there. Alright, we want these chips in. We can reg cannon, and perfect.
Where'd you get so many guard stars? Drogon 3?
Yes. Yeah, that's where all of the copy damages come from. And guard stars as well, yeah. Alright.
So that's HP plus. Okay, carry on.
Yep, HP plus 300 gives me 608 max HP.
And the next fight is just Nightman or Nightman Dark Chip?
Just Nightman hand buffer setup. 486. I like just counter hitting Nightman nowadays. It's been pretty easy to set up. I will not deny. Ooh, perfect fight
Yeah.
too.
Since, like, Nightman seems to dial his attack in when he starts flashing, and since Risch likes to bait the rocks out, it's very consistent and pretty easy to counter hit.
We have to get hit twice so that Nightman DS specifically deals 240 damage. It's very important.
And we need that because our Nightman SP does 220. It's like some combination of those two you need.
This just works.
Oh, nice.
240, 220, 40, and 70. Let's just reselect these. We need a 0 damage star-coded chip. We then need to select our Nightman that deals 240, our Nightman that deals 220. We need to select Cannon Star in this case as a nice safe chip for reasons. We'll leave the details to later. And then, last one is the Nightman. We've now set up the hand buffer. We can reset. Okay, so that probably means that Guardian might not be set up correctly.
Oof. So we're back at 484
Wait.
karma.
Yes.
Risch is going to do a fight and
I'm gonna reload the
put
payload.
Guardian back in. Do you think something about the B tank moving is a problem, Prof? And we should use Cactus or Matar instead?
I would believe it.
Did you put Guardian in the folder?
I did.
Okay,
And then I saved again.
cool.
Uh-huh.
A lot of Nightman.
It was a B tank that it failed on last time. This is correct. Oh, I should have kept one of those. This is fine. So, Prof, you swear that I can just wait, correct? And that should be enough. I can just wait, because I can't move if I lock myself into the one position. Okay. I will patiently wait after using the crack shot. Or the crack out, excuse me.
Oh, could you air shot the bottom one to push him back?
I could.
Yeah, I mean, locking yourself is fine too, but
That would work, yes.
so this is do the Guardian, run away.
Do the Guardian, run away, and then we set up the Nightman hand buffer the fight after. Literally second to last shot. Alright, I'm gonna let him attack. That should be plenty of waiting, right? Alright, 486 karma again. Let's try this hand buffer.
Not the best fight.
Yeah, luckily I can just make it so I only have to dodge the B tank.
True.
But yeah,
Is your health what it should be, or do you need to get hit here?
I do need to get hit twice. My health is fine, but I need to get hit twice for Nightman. Yes.
Right.
That sucks. We do want the dark chip still in the folder because I will have to do stuff after all of this.
If you had a 240 Nightman SP, is it just one hit or no
Nope,
hit?
you don't get hit at all. Because the Nightman DS does 220. Goes up by 10 each.
I see.
We need a 0 damage star-coded chip now. I should have plenty of copy damages. Or bust drums. Or invis. 240, 220. This should work. Okay. Invis works.
So, because this is new and very precise, there are a lot of ways that it can still go wrong that we don't necessarily know yet.
Yeah. My karma shouldn't be off by 1. Everything has looked correct in terms of karma, and chat even helped me to count. I used canon. Invis is perfect. I know Invis has worked for me in the past. So, for the purposes of the... I know exactly what it is. Okay. I'm not going to open up RAM yet. I'm not going to open up RAM yet.
You know exactly what it is.
I don't actually know exactly what it is, but if there was a problem with Guardian, I didn't solve it there. Because the Guardian combo is saved to your save file. I didn't save afterwards. So I do kind of have to lock myself into 486 karma. Yeah, we can keep all these. So
What if we just
Yeah.
do the Guardian twice? So, like in this fight and in the Nightman setup.
you theoretically could do that, yeah. You could set up the... Well, you could do that, but then you'd have to run away from the fight rather than soft reset, which should be fine.
Oh. Right.
This is so complicated if any little thing goes wrong.
It's okay, eventually we'll have idiot-proof instruction.
It's okay, the goal is 215 because sub 2 should be free as long as everything goes according to plan, and I expected things to potentially go wrong.
We got it mostly right up until the weird part.
Yeah. Alright, so. Move around, pop. Perfect. Okay. Add a backup strat section to the route. Yeah. that should be necessary. You know what, we'll leave Guardian in just in case. It kind of makes this a little harder to set up the buffer because more codes to deal with, but it's...
Well, it's more slower than harder.
Yeah. Ah! Terrifying! Double B tanks.
Crack out the front middle and just like bust through the front one down. Like, I'll get you.
Oh, I'm bustering him, don't worry.
Would using chips mess stuff up? Like, you're not doing that in case it's...
I would have used a sword,
Combo?
100%. But, I didn't draw a sword. I didn't really draw good enough chips. I basically can't use 2 chips back to back. Also, I need to get hit twice. 1. 2. I was curious what version of Nightman that was. We've gone through, I think, 11 chips, question mark, plus the 2 I already have. We've gone through about half of our folder so far. I should have at least one more blister. And I should still have Invis, I think. Attack plus 10 does not work. It's a 0 damage. It technically is a star-coated chip that you would think does 0 damage. But it doesn't. It actually has a damage value assigned to it. Alright. Crack out. Okay. I don't know if after this last hard reset I set up... The payload doesn't actually matter right now. Now that I think about it. Oh, there we go! So this is what we expected to see.
So, does that imply the problem was with Guardian because you set it up and then saved?
Yes, that implies Guardian was the problem. Easy every time. Alright, so now we want HP plus 50 in. We actually want... So, okay, actually, I have to do some manual rerouting myself here. Because my karma is currently 486. My notes expect my karma to be 484 based on when I saved. We're also going to remove Guardian now, because now that we've done that, we know Guardian is set up properly. Like, there's actually no way that Guardian is messed up at this point. So, we can leave this alone. We can save. Alright. Just make sure everything looks okay right now. 486 karma. Let's go down. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna use a dark chip. I'm so confused. That was a bit difficult to explain. Basically, what is happening is when we talk to Shadow Man is not supposed to be able to be talked to right now. He is actually... Normally there's a cutscene trigger that we should have stepped on. And he doesn't actually have a set of text boxes associated with him. Yeah, that wasn't even technically Ace. That was just using the debug menu. We were telling the game, give item HP memory. So, effectively, what happens is, when we talk to that NPC, it gives us an invalid pointer to a memory address that we set up with the hand buffer in order to execute a particular script. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to run away from 2 fights. My karma is currently at 470. If I used another dark chip, I would go down to 466 and then down to 465. And I don't want to be on an odd number. So.
Odd numbers, bad feng shui.
Yes, very bad, very bad. So now we're 472. Anyway. When we talk to him using the Nightman hand buffer setup, we basically get it to jump to a piece of RAM that is associated with our Dark Mega AI combo, which we have set up with the first one to be the Guardian combo. The Guardian combo specifically gets our game to save and jump to another pointer, which is our Navi stats. Okay, I want to use a dark chip here. So we set up our Navi stats, basically our current HP, our max HP. Ooh, wait a minute. How can I fix this?
Did you get hit?
The soft reset. Okay, we'll just get back to this. So, I used dark chips without getting hit, so my current HP was actually a very bad number. I need it to be 1020. No, Prof, Recov 10 would not work. Is this the middle of the ace setup? Yes. Then HP drain? I'd rather do this. I'd rather do this. Alright. Anyway. Back to a little bit of the explanation. So when we jump from Dark Mega AI combo to Navi stats, our current HP, our max HP, and our Karma is set up in a particular way to execute a particular script, such as the give item script for HP memory. So because we talked to him, it sets up the script and calls give item HP memory. And so we keep talking to him every single time, and it will just keep giving us HP memories over and over and over again, which allows us to reach the maximum HP value of 1000. Now, we're going to do it all over again, but we want a different max HP and current HP setup to jump to a different memory address that will allow us to call a script of our own design. I need 1020. Yes, I was waiting for a Metar specifically. Don't worry, Prof. Alright. 472 Karma. Metars are the only enemy that deal 10 HP here. 474 Karma. Alright, we're back where we expected to be. 1046. Perfect. Okay. Now we need to use 2 more dark chips and run away. And this is why Soul T plus 1 is very useful, because being able to manipulate your emotion to get dark chips very consistently, very nice. Alright, 1 more dark chip usage. I love this fight so much because I don't have to think for this fight. I just have to wait. Alright, chat. Karma is now 464. Current HP is now 1020, which is what we want. And, check in a second, my max HP 1042, exactly what we want. So we need to run away from 10 more fights to get our Karma back up to 464, which we'll save at just in case Guardian combo got messed up again. So, 1. Can't run away from the Nightman B2 fight. 2. I don't know, actually, Prof. I honestly don't know. 3, when we get this encounter, will put us to 470 karma after running away, which means we should be dark, which we are. And after this fight, you should see that I am no longer dark. How do we emulate wireless adapter? If you needed to emulate wireless adapter, 4 by the way. Oh, so you can see my karma is correct.
In the context of this run, we can give you the details in the Team in Discord if you want to try this out for yourself.
Yeah.
I think also specifically the instructions are in the paste bin.
Yes, that is correct.
Because I asked that same question.
Yes, they are in the paste bin. If you absolutely need to emulate the wireless adapter, say through like BizHawk or something, you can poke a particular memory address in the ROM, which basically enables a cheat. 6. That will skip the check to see if the wireless adapter is actually plugged in, and it simulates it. 7. We're getting close, chat. Eight. Alright. This isn't Star Force, I have to hold the B button to run. I've remembered this entire run and forgot just now.
It happens.
9. Alright. Uno mas, and then we will save in front of Shadow Man. For safety. 10. All right. Now, actually, you know what? Let's set up my Navicust. We need 1050 HP still in. We need that in. Beautiful. Alright. We need to run away from one more fight. She'll put our karma to 486. And now. We set up the Nightman hand buffer once again. Perfect fight for it too. I love it. Hit me twice. Your current HP going into the fight is what matters rather than your current HP period. For those curious, I originally thought that it was your current HP, and it's like, oh, if you get hit in the fight, isn't that bad? But no, it's your current HP going into the fight that matters. Same with all the Navi stats. We've gone through 15 chips so far. 13 chips left. I'm gonna keep that just in case. Alright. We're close. Here we go. Crack out. 240. 220. 40. Not 40. Cannon. 170. Bam. Soft reset. Just in case, I believe I loaded in the payload correctly. I'm going to do it once more, just to be safe. And with that, we have reached the credits.
Crazy. Didn't even have to input up RAM watch.
I almost did. I almost did. And then realized I was stupid.
Yeah, so BN5 is only like 2 hours long, really.
Yep. That's correct. We can reach the credits. Exactly 2 hours. First try, every time. So yeah, basically as I mentioned earlier, right? The way this whole thing works is talking to Shadow Man calls an invalid pointer because you shouldn't be able to talk to him in the first place. He's an NPC behind a cutscene. He doesn't actually have any real text associated with it. So when you talk to him, calls that invalid pointer, which we get to point to the hand buffer. By setting up our hand buffer through the Nightman chips, using the chip IDs and the chip damages, we get it to jump to Dark Mega AI, which we've set up with the Guardian combo. The Guardian combo is set up to save and jump to our Navi stats. Our Navi stats, our current HP, max HP, and Karma, are set up in a particular way to call different scripts or jump to other memory addresses. For the max HP one, it was to call the get item debug script. And yeah, I know the Dark Soul AI combos are unused, by the way. It's just there in memory. So yeah, for the max HP one, it's calling the debug script give item for HP memory. Then with this credits warp, we tell it to jump to a point of memory which has buffers set up from the crossover battle. So that's why we typed in that menu earlier, the name and description field. We typed those in specifically with a payload that says call the credits function. So when we talk to Shadow Man, he jumps to the credits for us.
What a nice guy.
Is mirrored at 2000. Yeah, pretty neat. And with that IGT of 148. If I recall, there's supposed to be music playing during this cutscene right after the credits. It doesn't play at first. Probably because
Weird.
progress is wrong. Or maybe because I don't know. Maybe because the music progress is wrong. But music starts playing now. And then after this little bit, it plays normally as well. So like now it starts up. Got well. All of this was made possible thanks to Shadow. And yeah, again, huge shoutouts to Lucky for originally finding this invalid pointer thing that led to all of these shenanigans. Shoutouts to Prof, GM, Markro for coming up with this crazy concept of ace and routing in this, using this glitch. And shoutouts to Kojima, who wanted to make a kids game, and as a result we got the crossover battle menu, which makes this possible.
Fantastic.
Fun fact, by the way, because everything is already set up, if I just talk to Shadow Man again, we can just go to the credits again.
Wow. 2-second run. Wow. New Game Plus world record. As fast as Prof.
There are other payloads that I think Prof has started to come up with that would allow you to do a bunch of other stuff, such as calling give all chips, essentially. I think give all Navicust items is another one. And yeah, like there's a couple other payloads you can do that would also be useful from this that are really cool applications of the glitch. But yes, so that is Battle Network 5 with Ace, which is currently and probably only ever possible realistically with kernel version. because it has to be on JP specifically, because lib warping is exclusive to JP. You need to use the Nightman chips specifically, which is exclusive to the kernel version. And you could get them on the VC version, but the VC version has already patched out lib warping. So, with that, I think that's pretty much everything. Is there anything else we should mention, Tara?
Nope. That's it for today. Hope you enjoyed some One Step from Eden, chat participation, and then showing off this really cool culmination of years of routing and research for Battle Network 5. These games are pretty well made, and there's not too many glitches that we can really take advantage of, mostly just using the mechanics. So being able to find something like Arbitrary Code Execution at all is pretty cool. Yeah, and that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll try to get back to doing weekly streams. If there's anything you'd like to see, you can let us know on the Discord or Twitter. And yeah, hope to see you next time.
Thanks for watching, everyone.